There will be few document. That document we call it as a sales document, like inquiry, contract, quotation, sales order, return order, schedule agreement, even your contract also is mentioned there itself. So all these document we call it kind of a sales document, even though these all documents are part of your SAP SD, because the process will end at the billing only because it's OTC. As I told you earlier also, SAP SD is also called OTC process. That means order to cash. Basically, your process will start from order and it will end while the customer pays you. So it's OTC, order to cash. Delivery is something, though it's part of a OTC process, but if you have to divide this, you will say all this document belongs to sales, delivery belongs to shipping or logistic, and then the third one, the credit memo, debit memo, or billing document comes under section of billing on a higher level if you have to divide the documents. Yeah. And how the process start actually is it? First you create inquiry, then you create quotation. In between quotation and order, there could be a contract and schedule agreement also. But that's not mandatory because I said these four inquiry, quotation, contract, and schedule agreement, all these are pre-sales document. You can create your sales order without the pre-sales document itself. You can start your process with the sales order directly. Sales order, delivery, billing. If it's a return involved, it could be return order. If you are creating create memo request, debit memo request, so you need to do the billing for that well as well. So that's why how we divide it. Now the T codes. So for inquiry, we are going to use T code VA11. Change for VA12, display VA13. Tables, you see, tables is still the same for inquiry, quotation, and contract and schedule agreement. The table will remain same. Header will go and sit in the VBAK, and item data will go and sit in the VBAP. Here, this purchase order you ignore as of now. Purchase order is something like we have sales order in our sales process. While purchase team or purchasing department purchase something, they have similar to sales order. They have purchase order in their domain actually. Yeah. Purchase order is a sales order of purchase department basically. Then we create sales order VA01, delivery. This is shipping. Okay, you see delivery we will create with via T code VL01 or VL01N. There are multiple T codes VL10B, VL10D. There are multiple T codes actually. You can use any of those T codes. You'll have some different features. If you have to combine, you have to create a delivery for STO, then you can use different T code. But this is a common T code. Generally, we use VL01 only. Now, what is the shipping document? SIM company uses the shipping as a different module. They want to track the costing and the pricing, everything related to the logistic and the shipping. They want to track it individually. That time system or the company implement this transportation management transportation module also. Like we have SAP SD, we have MM, we have PP. A TM module is also there. So that will handle all your logistic part. So for those modules, I mean in those modules we create the shipping document, shipment cost document. So we use this to put B201, B201, and all those things. But generally, if that module is not there, we don't create all this. Simply we create delivery, we do the PGI, and then we do the billing. Yes. Now, yeah. Now let's see one by one which document or what and what purpose we use in SAP and why in the real world what it means. I've given you the overview of study itself, but yeah, let's go. Let's cover it again on higher level. So, yeah, see, as I said, inquiry is something when customer uh, inquires about the product. Yep. Inquiry could be either it could be like it will go to the store, they will ask you what is the price and all. It could be over phone, it could be over mail, it could be over website or what the notice. In inquiry, see the first time when the customer inquires about you, you don't need to capture all the information, right? Because you don't know whether this inquiry will get converted to my sales order or not. So it's just a high level, first level inquiry only. Maybe if you sell anything, It's not always that 10 customer comes and inquiry, maybe all these 10 customer will buy. It's not always the same case, right? So when you create in SAP inquiry document, you don't capture every document, every detail actually. Sometimes when pricing also we don't capture that inquiry level. So just create an inquiry. Okay, this customer has came for inquiry. That's it. Then quotation. As I said, quotation is a legal document actually. When you ask something and the company quotes you, okay, this is the last price I can give, right? And also if you are asking something, if you are trying to get some service or some sort of service in your home and in your company or anywhere, you get some quotation from those vendors, right? Okay, at this much cost they are ready to do that. So that is nothing but a quotation. So here some little bit more detail you capture. Comparing to inquiry, you capture little more information here. And also this quotation comes with the validity. Inquiry also comes with validity actually. Sales order we don't have validity thing, but inquiry quotation there's the validity. This quotation is valid up to this and this date. From and to date will be there. When we will create a quotation in the system, we'll see. System will ask you the validity period to enter. Because if I quote something, let's say I'll give you, okay, I'll do a special servicing in 1,000 rupee. That cannot be forever, right? 1,000 rupee for some certain period, maybe for 1 month, for 2 months, for 3 months. After that, I have to increase my price also. But quotation cannot remain valid for infinite period. So a validity is also involved when we create a quotation. Now order. Order is it's the main document. It's not pre-sales, it's actual document. Without order, your sales document, I mean the sales process will not start. Without quotation, without inquiry, you can create your sales process. You can order to cash process you can complete. But without order, it cannot be complete. Order is a must or mandatory document. Without that, you cannot proceed. And as I said, order is something now. It's something is pakka, and you are going to deliver actually. So now you have to cover or you have to capture every detail, the payment term, the pricing, the quantity, everything. Because order is something now you have finalized. So in this document, you need to capture everything basically. Now delivery. Once the order is confirmed, then comes the delivery. How you are going to deliver that good? Maybe the customer will take the good, or maybe you will deliver the goods to the customer location by your own truck or by any other transport mode, other vendor and all. So all those information we capture in delivery. There are three levels actually: picking, packing, and PJ. All these you can do in VL01 itself. You don't have to use a different P code. Or you can do one thing: you can create the delivery first in VL01N, and then picking, packing, PJ you can do in VL02N also. Or while creating itself, you can do it in VL01 itself. You can complete all these three steps in one go. Clear? Sometimes, let's say I'm creating a delivery, but I don't know from where I have to pick, from where I have to pack. That time, what I will do, I will simply create in VL01 and I will save it. So I'll get one document number, some 8 series or any series, 801, of it, some number I will get for delivery. Later, I got a confirmation from my plant team that okay, this has to be picked from so and so location. Then I will go to my delivery document with VL02N, and then I will do my all this process picking, packing, and PG. Sometimes we don't, well, by create the delivery, we don't know the transporter who is going to deliver. So for that purpose, also sometimes we create and then later we add those information and then we do our picking, packing thing stuff. Picking is mandatory kind of thing you can say. Packing is not mandatory. As general also you can understand packing is not required for all the material. Few material are already packed in such a way that you can directly deliver. But few fragile material that you cannot deliver just like that. You have to do some special packing for that. Then packing is involved. So packing is not mandatory. Now, now you will create the invoice or billing. When you do the PGI, PGI means post good issue. Good issue means stock will be issuing from your plant to the customer location basically. After that, you create an invoice. And when you create an invoice, system will generate the account. I told you there were two places where accounting entry will be generated. Accounting entry means GL entry or general entry will be created. Means some GL will get hit. Some any GL, it could be any GL based on the configuration. You will get some GL number. You will write down in that GL something. So that we call it an accounting entry. In layman, you can say in GL we are entering some data. Today this much GL has happened. So in some GL you are going to mention it. So that we call it accounting entry in general. When you do the invoice, customer account is debited and revenue is credited. Yeah, this you need to remember how when someone asks you what is the accounting entry of invoice. So you need to tell in this way only. Customer account is debited, my revenue account is credited. Now there are three kind of invoice actually. First is commercial invoice that you see generally, that's a normal invoice you can say. When you buy something from Amazon, Flipkart, or you do any legal transaction, you get an invoice that we call it a commercial invoice. Commercial invoice is something where GST number has to be mentioned basically. There is again performa invoice. Performa invoice is something you can say a dummy or a false invoice. It's not a legal document, it's a dummy invoice basically. You cannot cancel it also. This you can cancel. When you create a commercial invoice, if something wrong happened, the pricing or anything went wrong, you can cancel it and you can issue a new invoice. But for forma invoices are not cancelled. There are two things you need to remember for the pro forma and the commercial invoice basically. Commercial invoice can be cancelled, pro forma cannot be cancelled. It is the actual or real invoice. This is a dummy invoice. When you do the commercial invoice, that time your accounting entry will be generated. Means some GL will be hit when you do the commercial invoice. When you do the performa, accounting entries are not generated because it's a dummy. And why we create dummy? Sometimes it's a need that before creating the actual invoice, I want to see how my prices are coming, how my printouts are going to look like. So for that purpose, you can create a dummy invoice. Basically, you can say it's kind of simulation of the actual invoice. So you can take a printout, then you can see okay everything is correctly printed or not, and then if you're okay, then you go with the commercial invoice. Sometimes people follow that practices as well. Yes, so two major difference. It cannot be cancelled and it will not hit any GL for forma. Now the third is excise. Excise invoice comes into picture whenever you are selling something abroad, outside of your country. That time this comes into picture, excise invoice. Yeah, these all are like business terms actually. These all are theoretical part. You can go through the document again and you can read all these things. Yeah. So how you will create all these documents in SAP? As I told you, T code is VA11. Document type, a standard document type is IM. Let me go to SAP. Any questions so far? VA11. You can press F4 and you can see all the inquiry document in it. You see, since the T code is different, and now I get only 16 entries. 16 means these are the inquiry document basically. Here you can take any of. If you want to take with the standard one, you can create IA. You put the sales area. It looks very similar to the sales order basically. The structure is very similar, so that's why the tables are also same. Header will sit in the header. I mean the VBAK. Item will sit in the VBAP. Here and quotation again is VA21. If you go to VA21, it will also look very similar to what we are seeing here. VA21. Okay, now it says quotation type. Now if you press F4, you will see 21 entry. This 21 document or document type belongs to quotation. Yeah. Okay. Now when you create the order, as I told you, order can be created with reference to quotation inquiry, or you can create a standalone order. You can start your process from order itself directly in VA01. When you create your order in the back end, let me show you that one maybe. What's the Do you guys want to see how we create inquiry, quotation, all these things?
Yeah, Deepak.
Okay, we will create that later. Before we go to order, let me create one inquiry. It's basically same process actually. Let me see VA11. Let's try to create an inquiry. Let's take the document type which we have created earlier. And
Deepak, anyways, we are not going to create this inquiry and this quotation, right? Even sales order we will not create.
yeah, we will not create, but you need to know, right? Because you are
Okay.
there as the master of all these things, right? So you need to know how you are creating. In day-to-day life,
Okay.
you will not create all these documents. It's kind of a master. It's not that, not master actually. These all are transactional data. You will not do this transaction, but you need to configure all this. And if business people, if the users are not able to create, they'll come to you only. Let's say, let's say something. Let me put some other number. Like you see, if a business person is trying to create an inquiry, if they get this kind of error, they will simply call you, they will mail you, or if you are using any ticketing tool for your service or all those things for support thing, they will log a ticket that I'm not able to create my inquiry. Then you need to see why it is not getting created. So you should know how it is created. You don't create day to day, but you know how to create everything because you have configured everything. You as a consultant should know how to create. Yeah.
Okay.
Now let's say to create inquiry, let's say that I am 9. It should be here. Let's see. I inserted my document type, inquiry document type. I inserted my sales area. So that you see, sales area does not exist. Means this combination is not available. The sales org exists individually, that SOG. But the combination of these three, we call it sales area, right? So see, this is not available. There's something wrong we have entered. Let's take ZORG actually. Yeah, this one. Now you see, it allowed me. Now let us put one customer number. Very similar to sales order, I said. It's very same thing actually. Same data, same thing related. Query, and you put your material number, you can put same quantity. Okay. Now, few things now let's cover now only. You see this customer reference field, right? This is nothing but the purchase order of the customer. Of purchase order from the let's say Tata is still is a company and there is another company, let's say Reliance. Now say Reliance is a buyer here and this company is a seller. Correct? This is a buyer and customer you can say. Now Reliance decides to buy something from Tata Steel. Let's say iron or anything, steel, rolling steel or anything. Now think from the Reliance perspective. If you are working in a Reliance, what you will create? A purchase order or a sales order in Reliance?
Customer means like they'll purchase
Purchase
order.
order, right? So you will have some
Yeah.
PO number basically, right? One, two, three, four, anything. In
Yeah.
Tata Steel company, in Tata Steel ERP, what they will create?
Sales
Sales
order.
order. So now you will have some sales order number here. Let's say any number. Now SAP,
Sales sales order like you can call it as a quotation also.
no, quotation is a different, sales order is different. Quotation, as I said, inquiry, quotation, contract, all these are pre-sales document. Okay.
Okay.
Inquiry, quotation, uh, scheduled document, and then you have contract, right? These all are the pre-sales. Then comes your sales order. Your actual sales process starts from with the sales order only. Okay, these four are pre-sales. As I told you, these are not mandatory. You can directly create a sales order. But without sales order, there is no sales process. You cannot skip this one. These all are optional. You can create or you cannot create. That's up to the business how they want to create. But this is mandatory. Okay. So in Tata Steel, basically you will create a SO, not a PO, right? Because now this is selling. This company is selling. So what they will create a sales order. So in SAP, I have given one field where you can capture this PO number 1234 in the sales order 2345. Just a link basically. Let's say there are n number of orders. Let's say this company are buying multiple goods. Okay, there could be multiple PO number, right? And here there could be multiple sales order similarly. If there is one thing, then you can identify. But there are multiple. SAP gives you an option to link these two documents. Just text you can enter basically. So where you will enter this PO number in this sales order, you enter here. So what you will do here, you will enter this 1234 whatever the PO number is there from the customer side. Clear? So this is your customer reference or customer PO number. That doesn't play any role. You can type your own name also. That this type of basically it's a free text. You can type anything. Okay, because we don't know what number these people are creating and that customer is creating in their system. It could be alphanumeric, it could be numeric also. So it's a SAP has given a free text kind of thing. You can just type the number. So it's easy whenever let's say you created this 2345. And now let's say if someone opens the order and they want to know this sales order belongs to which PO. So if that linkage is there, that's very easy. Okay, for this 2345 is created because of this PO. So some linkage is there. This is easier for Reliance also, it's easier for Tata Steel also to backtrack the orders. Clear? So for that purpose, SAP gives that option to enter that PO number. Okay, now I have entered my sold to party. The ship to party automatically came. Let me show it again. If I go to VA11, I put my inquiry. You see, I enter the sold to party. Okay, you can type it also. I just putting backspace and I'm typing since it is already available in the history. You can type it also. You see, when I press enter, the ship to party automatically comes. I have not entered ship to party. It automatically came from the sold to party. Okay, let's. Have we discussed the function of the sold to party, bill to party pair and all earlier? I think we discussed, right? When you discuss the customer master. Do I remember?
No, Deepak, actually. Sold to party, the partner function
Yeah,
you
these
have
are
told
partner
us.
functions only. Let me go to header. Let me show you. Yeah, partner. You see, I just entered my sold to party, but in my sales order, everything came. Sold to, bill to, pair, sales employee, ship to. Since we are using the same number, so you may look okay, it's all same. But you notice one more thing here. The sold to party is grayed out. I cannot change this sold to party. Okay, let me do one thing. Let me create the sales order. Then I will explain you this one. There are multiple things to understand now. See, when I entered all this document, I can check whether my document is complete or not. There could be few fields which SAP or the company wants to be entered as a mandatory field. Can I create any sales order without any material? Does it make any sense? Or can I create my sales order without a
No.
customer? Does it make any sense to create a sales order? So basically, I
Yes.
can say these two are kind of a mandatory field. There are multiple fields you can mark it as a mandatory, but just I'm giving you a layman example. Yes. How can you check whether all the mandatory fields are entered or not. You go to edit, you click on incompletion log. You see document is complete. Here now I can go to header and you can save from here also. You can press your system control S also, or you can click on this button as a save also. Let's save it from here. So you see, this is my inquiry number 10000212. Now, if you directly click here and if you click on display, automatically system will take this number 212 number. You see, it automatically understood. So just now you have created this 212, system understood. This only you want to display. Or if you have the number, or later if you want to open it, you need to go to VA. What will be the record for display?
Zero
Inquiry display.
3 inquiry V VA20 VA11 VA13.
13, correct. VA13 basically. Okay. I entered my inquiry number. I inserted here. Okay. Now you see this button. If I want to change something, I can go inside the inquiry and I can change it. Same thing follow for the quotation contract order everywhere. Basically, same structure is there. So it's same process. You can go to inside and then you can go to change mode and you can enter whatever you want to change it. You go to display, then you see all the fields are grayed out. You cannot change because we are into the display mode. You go to header or anywhere, you cannot change anything because you are in the display. Now let's go to change mode now. If I go to change mode now, if I come to my partner tab, you see my sold to is grayed out. That means this sold to number is linked to this inquiry. This is kind of a fixed. You cannot change it. But you can change the bill to. You can change the pair. You can change the sales invoice. You can change the system. As I told, sold to is placing the order. That is always fixed. Let's say I have created the. I ordered something from Tata Steel. I told Mohan will be my bill to party means in the invoice or in the billing, Mohan's name will be printed as a bill to. And I say payer will be Kushwant. Who will pay the payment for this order? Kushwant. Then payer will be Kushwant number. Tip 2. Let's say I told the Tata Steel to deliver the goods to Yojana's address. Then in my case, I am the sold to party. Bill to party is Mohan. Payer is Kushwant. And ship to party is Yojana. Clear? So you can have different functions, the different partner number, or you can have the same number also. It's up to the business how they want to do it. In our case, in our customer master, from where all this comes actually, I just entered my sold to party. System automatically took all this data, right? So from where it took all this data, it came from customer master only. Let me show you. We have to go to sales role. We go to sales and distribution. Then do RD, let's see GD. Go to partner function. You see, whatever you maintain here, that only comes and appear here. Clear? If you add one more function, let's try to add one more function. I don't know whether it will allow or not, but let's see if I can add something new. So, sales employee we added. Let's say forwarding agent. Okay, let's save it. This will not work. Forwarding agent is nothing but your transporter who will carry your goods. For some customer, can have the same. You can have the what do you call the transporter number beforehand, so you can maintain in the master itself. Not taking. I don't know which number it will take. forwarding agent is not a customer. It's kind of a vendor to me, right? Because they are going to provide me some service basically. So the number which you assign here, that should be created as a vendor, then only you can assign it. Anyway, let's not waste time here. So basically what I'm trying to say, whatever data you maintain here, what bill to, what fare, what sales employee, what seek to party, the same data comes in the sales document, be it inquiry, quotation, contract, sales order, anywhere. At the header it comes. And as I told you, if sold to you cannot change because sold to is always fixed. When you create an inquiry, it's always fixed, linked with the sell to party. Bill to pair you can change. All these are happening because of some config. We'll see all this config when we will see the partner determination function. We'll see from where all these things comes actually. Okay. Now, yeah. So this is how we create an inquiry. As I told you, we have saved it. So this is my inquiry number. Now let me show you one more thing. Now let's try to create one quotation. The pre-code will be VA21. Let's take that 29. I think this we have configured. So see, similar thing. You put the quotation document type, you put the sales area, the same structure basically. You give your sold to party number, then you take this material. Now let's see whether anything we missed. You see, I told you quotation is something which is always related to a validity period. So it is asking me is quotation 2 is incomplete. I can do one thing, I can just double click here. It will take me to the field. See, automatically it took me to the field which is missing. Let me show it again. Let me go back. If I go to edit, if I go to incompletion, system tells me which all fields are missing. Since in our case only one field is missing. So if you double click here, it takes you to the same field. Yeah, it's a date basically. Now you can press F4 and you can select the date from here. Let's say I took 15. So my quotation is valid from 6th of May to 15th of May. You press enter, then you go back. Now if I click in completion, it should be complete. You see, document is completed. You can save it. So this is my quotation document. Okay. This quotation testing, whatever you are saying, this is nothing but the description of the document type. Okay, so don't get confused. Here you can type anything. This number, this is just the description of the document type which you have taken while creating. See, so that QT9 has a description of quotation testing. So that's why you see quotation testing and then the quotation number you get. Okay. Similarly, you can create this schedule and agreement. You can create contract. Same fashion actually. So let's not waste time in the pre-sales document. Let's move to sales order now. Okay. So as we shown, we know T code is VA01 for order. Standard order type is OR. We have created that over9. You can create your own also. Anything, any other number also you can create. Now, when you create a sales order, let's say, let's go to VA01. That over9. Yeah. Now see, when I put my sold to party and I press enter, let me put this, yes, friends. System automatically determines this ship to party pair and everything, right, from the customer master. So this we call it partner determination. Once you enter the sold to, now system try to determine all the other partner functions which are associated with that customer master. So basically it is determining the partner, which is sold to, which is billed to, which is payer, which is the transporter, which is sales employee. All this data it is taken from customer master. It is happening in the backend. You don't see it happening, but it is happening right now. Why? Because when you enter sold to party itself and you press enter, the ship to party automatically came. That means it has determined the ship to party from the customer master of this sold to party. Clear? So when you create a sales order, these are the few things that happens in the backend and in the sequence only. Okay. Why in the sequence? Because when you create a sales order, you took the sales document type, you took the sales area. Before you go to this pricing and all this credit management, output, all those things, what is the first thing you need to enter? The customer, who you're going to sell. Okay, so the sequence is also important. As of now, just try to memorize whatever it is. Just try to memorize it. That's fine. We'll see one by one when we will cover topic one. Since partner determination is clear to you, right? How this partner determination happens, from where this data comes and all. Clear? So this all happens in the backend. I'll give you a basic idea what all these things actually. So partner determination, taking the partner function from the customer master. Listing exclusion means listing is something. Let's say in Gujarat you cannot sell alcohol, right? Then you need to maintain some exclusion for that. For Gujarat customer, liquor or wine should be banned. To exclude those customers to buy liquor or wine from, you exclude them from buying those all liquor and all. So for that you can maintain some listing and exclusion basically. Let's say how it works. I'll just give you a basic idea. Let's say there is a customer code Mohan created in my system, and in my system I have let's say these are my materials. Okay, these many materials I have. Let's say if I maintain listing and I maintain uh, A and B, then what will happen? Mohan can only create order for these two materials because listing is maintained for A and B. Here, Mohan cannot create order for C, D, E, F. He cannot order. If he tries to enter, system will give error that this D, E, F, all these materials are not listed for Mohan, so he cannot buy it. Similarly, exclusion also works, but in a opposite way. Let's say I maintained, let's say now let's ignore this one. Let's only focus exclusion now. Let's say I excluded C and D. E and D. I have maintained the exclusion like this. Now Mohan can place any order excluding C or D. So now Mohan cannot order C and D, but he can order A, B, E, F, G, H. All these material he can buy, but these two he cannot buy. So it works in the opposite way. Listing, exclusion. Listing means this only he can enter. Exclusion means this he cannot enter. He cannot order. How you maintain it all, we'll see later. Just remember on high level what is listing, what is exclusion.
Like where we can maintain this listing and
There is a
exclusion.
T code actually. We'll cover all this. Let's not go to that level. There are some T code where you can maintain all these things.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay.
So if you go to that level, it will take some time. Okay. Now, material determination. Material determination means, let's say, I think we have seen that item proposal and all those things, right? So system considers material. There is another functionality actually. This is another function of SAP SD, material determination. Let's say what could happen. You are entering ABC and you want your material to be converted to XYZ. Then the material determination will do that part. If it is there, see, it's not mandatory. See, when I say this all happens in the back end, it doesn't mean that everything will happen. Let's say if I'm not maintained listing for anything, I'm not using this listing functionality. Let's say I'm not using anything. Then system will first check whether any listing or exclusion is there or not. System will still check. But since it is not there, system will come out of it, right? Because there is no listing and exclusion maintained for Mohan, system will not check. But whether it is maintained or not, system will check at a higher level. Clear? So just memorize as of now. Then material determination, free goods, whether any free goods to be given, let's say out of 10 you want to give 2 material as a free. So when you can decide all these things, that up to, let's say you're giving 2 quantity as a free up on each 100 or each 10 pieces, how you will decide? Unless until you determine your material. Then only you can decide. No, let's say I told you, let's say you buy 10 packet of biscuit, I'll give you 2 packet of biscuit as a free. So obviously this determination will happen after material determination only, right? It cannot happen before. Clear? You see, this is a sequence. This is why it is mentioned in the sequence form. Sometimes these people will ask you, when you create a sales order, what happens in the background? What checks or activity system performs? You just memorize as of now. Let's not go to that level. We will understand one by one. Once we cover everything, we'll see. Just try to memorize. Just remember. Yeah. Now, once you create the sales order, you go to VL01N or VL01, anything you can do. And then you create your delivery. While you create your delivery and you do the PGI, that time also a lot of things happens in the backend, right? Like you see, it will update the credit management, it will update the stocks because when you say when you do the PGI, means that stock is reduced from your company or from your plant. So obviously that stock has to be updated. Let's say two quantity you sold, two quantity PGI has been done. Then obviously your stock will be reduced by two. So it updates the stock, it updates the inventory accounting document. This is the accounting entry for PGI. This also you should remember. Cost of goods sold account is debited and inventory is credited. Sometimes we call it COGS, COGS. Okay, COGS, COGS. COGS account debited and inventory account credited. And this updates the document flow, it updates the credit management. These few things are common if you see. Uh, no, this is determination, this is another thing. This all happens in the backend system, updates all these things. Okay, we'll see all this, don't worry. Just try to go through it and try to memorize. That's fine. You just remember what it is as of now. Once we will cover these topics one by one, you will understand what is happening in the backend. Clear? When you do the PGI, what is the next step you will do? You will do the billing. Then system also updates that billing due list also when you do the PGI. Now this delivery is ready to be invoiced. Yeah. Then you do the invoice. Again, same thing. When you do the invoice, few things system will perform at the backend. Yeah. Again, accounting entry will be generated. Now customer account will be debited and revenue will be created. And if you see, these four will be common, I believe. Update the document flow. Okay. Update the credit management. Update the LIS. Few things are common for delivery invoice. So this is common. So you can remember it as of now. Just remember it how what it all happens in the backend. We'll cover one by one later. This is just giving you a higher level idea what is happening in the backend. Yeah. Now let's say what is return order. Return order again I said it is again created in the code VA01. I told you, let's say customer finds the damaged goods or fault or any expired stock you have given or any wrong stock also given. Sometimes this also happens that customer has asked ABC and by mistake your logistic team delivered the XYZ material. Then also the return has to be happen. And return, as I said, return means obviously some goods movement is also coming into picture, not only the financial things. So then you go for return order. And obviously when you create a return order, so when you will create the return, before return order, what is the document which you have created in SAP? Before creating a return order, when you decide, okay, this I have to create a return order. If something wrong happened, some damage happened, or some wrong material happened. But in SAP, what was the last transaction you did? You created the invoice, right? So when you create a return order, it's mandatory to take a old reference. That return order is created against this invoice. For this invoice, I'm creating this return order. It cannot be created standalone. It's always recommended to create invoice taking by reference of the invoice. Yeah. And now you see when you do the return process, obviously the process is opposite to the invoice process, right? So the accounting entry will also be in the reverse way. You see now customer account is credit. Here customer account was debit. So with accounting will be completely opposite of what we do in
Madhur. Madhur.
invoice. Clear? And again the same process. You go to VA01, you put some document type, and then
मैंने तो पहले
you
बोला
put
था
the
सुनकर
sales area.
पहले बोला पहले अपना बात हो गया था
You
मैं सुने रखना है वो वैसे भी होके साफ करती नहीं सिर्फ ऊपर साफ मतलब
and now you see when you do the PGI for the normal delivery, it's PGI, post good issue. But for return order, when you do the PGI, though in general term we call it PGI or for the return delivery, but in the actual, if you have to be specific, you need to say post good receipt. Because this is opposite of PGI. What you have done in PGI, the plant is sending the goods to the customer. The stock is reducing in the plant, but when the return comes, it's opposite, right? The stock is coming to your plant and the customer is giving that material. Then it's a PGR. It's not PGI. Clear? We'll see all this. Don't worry. Now create memo request. As I said, when there is no goods movement required and something has happened, some damage happened or anything, or undercharge or overcharge kind of scenario, you go with this create memo or debit memo thing. Okay, there are two documents. One is create memo request. I told you create memo request. Means it's kind of order. This create memo request behaves as a order only. And this behaves as a invoice. Okay. Same thing, debit memo also. Mm, Same thing, if you create more debit, we don't have delivery obviously because if delivery has to be there, then we go for return. This also sometimes these people will ask you how you decide when to go with this create demo route and when to go with the return order route. So simple answer is when there is a good movement involved, then we will go with the return order because then you will get return delivery and then PGR will happen. The goods movement will happen. But if there is also, if there is a need of only financial money taking and all, then you can go with the create now debit memo route. Okay, this is the noise correction. You can ignore it. That is no one. It's complicated and it's not necessary to people will get confused if I cover this noise correction and all. Uh, then rush order. In system, sometimes the customer is in rush, right? You will let's say in normal case, I create an order and Mohan is creating the delivery, and then further on the process goes, the PGI invoicing will happen, right? So let's say in normal case when I create an order, I will give the order number to Mohan, and then Mohan will create the delivery. Okay, in real world also the same person cannot create order and delivery because it's kind of violation of segregation of duty. Okay, let's discuss with SOD as of slightly. So SOD is nothing but your segregation of duty. In SAP, we have this term SOD. Okay. So segregation of duty. What is segregation of duty? Segregation of duty means the person, I'm just giving you a very basic example, the person who is creating the sales order, this person has to be different person. And the person who creates the delivery, this person has to be a different person. Similarly, who will do the billing, this also has to be a different person. These all three documents cannot be created by a single person. Yes, if all these documents I can create in since in the testing system and in the quality system you can get this access, but in the real world, any user will not have all these access to a single ID. Deepak can only create order, that's it. Now it's up to Mohan when he is going to create delivery. Yeah. So what happens sometimes SAP takes the audit. And if he finds that okay, Deepak has the access of VA01 as well, and Deepak has the access of VL01N as well, then SAP will raise a concern that is the violation of segregation of duty. Yeah. In audit, it will be a problem for a company to answer why you have done like
Which means for every work there is a separate person.
not every work actually. In SAP, I mean in for SAP SD, this is there has to be three person actually, three different ID, not person.
Yeah.
I would say different ID basically. Okay, sometimes what happens, let's say in my company or in your company, any company, they don't have three person. Let's say there are only two person, Mohan, Deepak and Mohan. There is no Kusman. They have only two manpower. Now what you will
Okay.
do? These two only are supposed to create
Yeah.
these three documents. Now how you do cheating here? You will do cheating like this. There will be ID, let's say ID 01, who will create, who will have the access of order. Okay,
ID.
ID 02.
Yeah.
This ID has the access of delivery. ID 03 has the access of invoice. Now, who knows who is logging with this ID? Now, I am logging with ID King, right? When I log in this SAP, I'm giving the ID King, right? Who knows whether it's Deepak or Mohan? No one knows, right? So this is how some company cheats or some company bypass this SOD thing. They create a different ID, but what they will do? They will ask Mohan to use these two ID. So what Mohan has to take care? Whenever Mohan has to create a delivery, he will log in with ID 02. Whenever Mohan has to do billing, he will log out this ID 02. He will log in again with ID 03, and then he will do the billing. Yes. So SAP will
Got
also
it.
see, okay, three different ID, three different authorities, so no segregation of duty. SAP doesn't know, right, who is using this ID, who is the actual person. SAP can only see in system. This order is created by ID 01. This delivery was created with ID 02. They cannot know who actually used that ID that time, right? So this is how
Okay.
you, in some companies cheat actually when they are running out of manpower. These people do like this. Some companies,
Based on the ID, the work will be
right?
segregated. Okay.
Okay. So yeah. Now say in rush order, let's say the normal order, what will happen? Let's say in our example, I will create the order and Mohan will create the delivery. Now there could be slight delay, right? It's not immediate that Mohan is also sitting in the system. I am also sitting in the system. I'll create the order and Mohan will immediately create delivery. Maybe Mohan is out in the plant for some other work. What if Mohan is traveling? There could be delay in this case, right? I will create the order, then I have to wait. But the customer is in rush and customer wants the order to be delivered immediately. So that for that purposes we have a different order type, basically order type RO. What will happen in the rush order type RO? As soon as you create a sales order by taking a document type RO, system automatically creates the delivery in the backend. Okay. Uh, let me do one thing. It's uh, okay, before we proceed, let me do one thing. Let's deep dive a little bit here itself. When it will come later, that's fine. But as of now, let's do. I'll show you how it happens actually. Okay. So where you create your sales document type is VO8. Okay, the T code is VO8. You can type the T code VO8, and here you can configure all your inquiry quotation contract. Okay. If you want to go with the SPRO, you go to SPRO, you go to ING reference, then you go to SAP SD, then sales document, document header, then you see define sales document type. Click here. Since we have already opened the same in a different window, it is saying that the data is locked. That's fine. I'll go to display. You see, basically the same mistake. So either you can go with SPRO or you can go with VOV8. Now, I just give you some basic idea how it is happening. Now see, as I told you, here itself you create your document type for inquiry also, for quotation also, for contract also, for debit memo also. Now, how system knows that okay, this IN or let's say yeah, IN is the inquiry, QT is quotation, how system knows. You can directly double click here and you can go to detail, or you can just select this line and click on this magnifying glass. It will also open the details actually. Now this plays the role. What is document type IN? How system knows? Because of this document category. The A means inquiry. Wherever, if I make it B here, then IN will behave as a quotation. Okay, if I change this IN to B, if I change this document category to B, then IN will start behaving as a quotation. But this is something which you don't do because this is standard document type and all, so you don't change like this. If you want some quotation, you go to the quotation, you go to the QT. Okay, you see, then the category is B, and then you can copy this QT, and then you can create your own document type, anything. Let's say that QT 7 or anything. You can type your own name also as a description, anything. Like I said, this is just a description. You can type anything. So you are creating that QT7 by taking a reference of QT. You can save it. So see, now this document is also created. Now you can use this document also for your quotation creation. Okay, now we wanted to see the RO thing, right? Let me go to RO. Yeah, sorry, SO. See, in document you may read it as RO, that is order, but in SAP you see it SO because this is HANA latest version and this document is a little bit old actually. So that time the document type may be RO, so that's why it says RO as a rush order, but in actual SAP it's a SO. SO means rush order. So double click here, and if you come down, you see this checkbox, immediate delivery. So this is why when you save this order type SO, system automatically creates the delivery. Okay, we'll see all this in SAP how it works and all. We'll see all this. I'm just trying to show you all this because these are very basic configuration that you can remember. Okay, so in rush order, I don't have to go to VA01N. As soon as I save my sales order in VA01 itself, my delivery will be created automatically in the backend. How it is created? It is created because of this control. Yeah.
Deepak, I have
Yeah.
one doubt. If suppose if service-based
Mm-hmm.
company, we are giving a
Yeah.
service, in there we are not doing any
Right.
delivery. We have to give the
Yeah.
invoice. At the time, like how what I mean, which one we have to choose without without creating delivery
Yeah. That
invoice.
okay. Let me cover that as well. Let's take 2 minutes and let's cover. Okay. Delivery means something physically you are going to deliver, right? When the main idea of creating delivery is what? Of delivering something. It's a tangible goods you're going to deliver. So in this process, what you
Yeah,
will do at a higher level, you will create an order, sales order basically, then you will create a delivery, and then you create the invoice, right? When it's a tangible
yeah.
goods. Okay.
Okay, accept.
But if it's a service, then what you will do? You will create your order and then you directly create your invoice.
Yeah.
Okay, then there will be no delivery. Okay.
Yes.
So sometimes you call it as a good sales order or service order. These are two different things actually. Okay, so service order you don't need delivery because there is no stock kind of thing, right? It's a service. So there is
Yes.
no delivery, no truck information, all those things you don't need, no transportation thing. It's simply order and invoice. So here what you will say in SAP terminology, in service order, I will create the invoice with reference to order. But for tangible goods, I will create the invoice with reference to delivery. Okay. Here also you can configure the system to work like this, that invoice will be created with reference to order. But why we go for delivery, you see? Let's say maybe you customer asks for 100 pieces, right? But what if you don't have 100 pieces as of now, right now? What you will do? You will say take 50 pieces. 50 pieces I will deliver it tomorrow or after 1 month. So you created the delivery for 50. Then how much you will going to charge to the customer? 100 or 50? 50 only.
50.
So that's why in this tangible scenario, you always create the invoice with reference to delivery. Clear? If you take the order as a reference, what will happen? You delivered 50 only, but you are charging 100. So it's wrong, right? It's not the correct way.
Yes.
Okay, so that's why it's always
Yeah.
recommended when you are having the delivery document and some tangible goods are there, where stocks and all comes into picture, you always create invoice with reference to delivery. For service order, VA01, then directly you can do VF01. Okay, let's stop here.